While many are critical of President Biden's decision to commute the sentences of nearly every convicted felon on death row, the commutations are an answered prayer for many, including Pope Francis, who prayed for the commutations of the sentences during his Angelus earlier this month.
Today,
al cuore chiedere a tutti voi di pregare
it comes to my heart to ask all of you
per I detenuti
to pray for the inmates in the United States
sono al corridoio della morte.
who are in the death corridor.
Credo che sono 13 o 15.
Let us pray for their sentence to be commuted, changed.
All right, to talk to us more about all of this is Father Thomas Petri, president of the Pontifical Faculty of the Immaculate Conception at the Dominican House of Studies. Father Petri, great to be with you.
Always great to be with you, Tracy.
All right, so much to unpack here. But first, I want to get your thoughts on this. Archbishop Timothy Broglio, as you know, president of the USCCB, he released a statement today about the commutations, and he wrote in that statement, "This action by the president is a significant step in advancing the cause of human dignity in our nation. As we continue to proclaim the gospel in a broken world, the act of mercy is a step to closer building a culture of life." Your thoughts on that, and also your thoughts on this decision by President Biden?
Well, of course, the Church's traditional doctrinal teaching is that states do have a right to recourse to the death penalty, especially for heinous crimes in which guilt is absolutely known. But the last several popes, going back at least to Pope St. Paul VI, have expressed reservations. And of course, Pope Francis has expressed reservations of the death penalty in the strongest of terms. And what Archbishop Broglio says is that in our broken world, having mercy towards those who are guilty of heinous things is a way of evangelizing, that if such people are merit or worthy of an act of mercy, so is everybody else. So are you, and so am I. And so it is an evangelical call. Now, not all Catholics agree with that. That this is the way we should proceed. And there are arguments that a society should have recourse to the ultimate penalty of death for crimes that are especially heinous and that treat innocent life very cavalierly.
Yeah, and we said nearly all. Not every single one of the inmates was commuted their sentence. There were 3 that were not. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so that's an interesting point, because if the death penalty is in fact immoral, as many people want to say, why is it immoral for these 3? Now, President Biden clearly staked out a claim that there is a line, and it's the line that I just spoke of, which is something that's very heinous and treats life cavalierly. Now, the Church doesn't say what that means or where the line is, and that's really up to politicians and those in government to express prudential judgment. But clearly the line for President Biden is acts of terrorism and acts of mass murder constituting hate crimes. Some would say that the line should be even further or lesser and include other heinous crimes, but that's a prudential argument, even among Catholics.
Yeah, and this decision by President Biden, while in line with Catholic social teaching, the other life issue, abortion, really quite vastly different. Can you sort of unpack this for us, for those who are questioning this?
Yeah, so it's important that a Catholic politician be praised when they do things that are good or the Church views as good. So yeah, very important that Archbishop Broglio and the U.S. bishops released this statement praising these commutations, even if one might disagree prudentially with the death penalty. But that's quite different from an issue of intrinsic evil like abortion or euthanasia, which is always evil, and there's never a prudential reason to employ them, which is to say, there's never a good reason. Unlike the death penalty, which there can be legitimate and good reasons to employ it. Historically, there have been, even if today we want to follow, as I say, not just Pope Francis, but Pope Benedict, John Paul, St. Paul VI, that it shouldn't be used for evangelical reasons and for reasons of human dignity.
Yeah. Final thoughts before we close out this segment.
Well, it's, this obviously, I agree that this is a certain, confrontation, or I don't want to use the word attack, but it is a bit of a slap in the face for victims, and I suspect the victims' families will feel very hurt by this. I think as Christians, and this is going to sound trite, and it's not really a great answer, but we need to work on forgiveness, not excusing, but in order to release ourselves of the anger and the pain that evil that has been done to us can often cause in us for years after the fact.
Right. Well, Father Petri, always great to have you on, and thank you so much for helping us unpack all this and your advice. We always appreciate it.
God bless you, Tracy. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. God bless.